Sorrow, Messi! Lionel Messi!
Lionel Messi delivered one of the most emotional and unforgettable post-match statements of his entire career after being named Player of the Match in Argentina's thrilling FIFA World Cup 2026 clash against Algeria, a performance highlighted by his historic hat trick that left the football world in complete awe. Speaking with visible emotion, Messi stood in front of the cameras, still catching his breath, holding the match ball tightly in his hands as the stadium noise slowly faded into the background, and the reality of what he had just achieved began to sink in. His eyes were calm but heavy with emotion, reflecting not only the intensity of the match, but also the deeper personal meaning this moment carried for him at this stage of his legendary career. He began by expressing deep gratitude, not for individual glory, but for the collective effort of his teammates. He emphasized that football at this level can never be about one player, no matter how many goals are scored or how much attention is given to individual performances. According to him, every single movement on the pitch tonight was the result of teamwork, discipline, and shared belief. He explained that his hat trick would not have been possible without the constant support of his midfielders, the defensive stability behind him, and the understanding between players who have spent years building chemistry together. He made it very clear that while the headlines may focus on his name, the victory belonged to the entire Argentine squad. However, as he continued speaking, the tone of his words became more personal and emotional. He admitted that this match was not just another game in his career, but something that touched him deeply on a human level. He recalled standing during the national anthem before kickoff, describing how the weight of representing Argentina in yet another World Cup, possibly one of the final chapters of his international journey, created an overwhelming emotional moment for him. He said that in that instant, surrounded by thousands of fans and millions watching around the world, he felt a surge of pride, responsibility, and vulnerability that is difficult to explain in words. He openly acknowledged the tears that were seen in his eyes during the anthem, clarifying that they were not tears of pressure or fear, but rather tears of gratitude. He explained that when you spend your entire life chasing a dream and then find yourself living it repeatedly on the biggest stage in world football, emotions naturally overflow. He described it as a moment where memories of his journey flashed in his mind, from his childhood in Rosario to his early struggles in professional football, to the years of sacrifice, criticism, victories, and heartbreaks that shaped him into the player he is today. Then Messi shifted to one of the most emotional parts of his statement, speaking about his family. He specifically mentioned his wife, describing her as his greatest support system throughout his entire career. He explained that behind every match, every trophy, and every success, there has always been a quiet but powerful presence at home, helping him stay grounded. He reflected on how she has witnessed every phase of his journey, from the earliest days when he was still a developing player full of dreams, to the present moment where he is considered one of the greatest players in football history. He said that in moments of doubt, she was always the one who gave him strength, and in moments of success, she was always the one who kept him humble. He also spoke about his children with deep affection. Messi explained that as his career has progressed, his motivation has evolved. Earlier in his career, he played for ambition, for success, and for proving himself to the world. But now his children have become his biggest source of inspiration. He shared that seeing them in the stands, watching him play, celebrating his goals, and understanding his journey in their own innocent way gives him a completely different kind of emotional strength. He expressed that he wants his children to remember not just the goals he scored, but the effort, dedication, and love he showed for the game. When asked about his historic hat trick, Messi responded with humility rather than celebration. He described the first goal as pure instinct, explaining how he simply saw an opportunity outside the box, trusted his technique, and struck the ball without hesitation. He said that in moments like that, there is no time to think, only to react. The second goal, he explained, was about positioning and awareness, being in the right place at the right time, something he has learned through years of experience at the highest level. He said that football intelligence often matters just as much as technical ability, especially in World Cup matches, where space is limited and decisions must be made in seconds. The third goal, according to Messi, was the most special. He described it as a moment of complete understanding between him and his teammates, a sequence that felt almost automatic. He explained that when the pass came to him, everything around him slowed down for a brief moment, and he felt a sense of calm that allowed him to finish the move with complete control. He said that completing a World Cup hat-trick is something every player dreams of, but very few ever experience, and doing it on this stage at this point in his career made it even more meaningful. Messi also took time to talk about the emotional atmosphere of the match itself. He acknowledged that Algeria were a very strong and disciplined opponent who made the game extremely difficult at times. He mentioned that the early VAR decisions created a tense and unpredictable environment where both teams had to stay mentally strong and focused despite interruptions and uncertainty. He praised Algeria for their fighting spirit and tactical organization, saying they pushed Argentina to remain fully alert throughout the match. Despite the competitive intensity, Messi emphasized the importance of staying grounded. He said that one victory does not define a tournament, and one performance does not guarantee success in the World Cup. He reminded everyone that Argentina still has a long journey ahead, and that every match will require the same level of focus, discipline, and unity. He stated that the team must continue improving step by step, respecting every opponent and avoiding complacency. As the interview continued, Messi reflected on what this stage of his career means to him personally. He acknowledged that people often speak about endings, retirement, and final appearances, but he made it clear that as long as he is physically and mentally capable, he will continue giving everything for his country. He expressed his passion for football has not diminished, and that moments like this only strengthen his desire to keep competing at the highest level. Then he made a powerful promise to the fans. Messi stated that his ultimate dream is not just to participate in another World Cup, but to win it again for Argentina. He said that lifting the trophy once brought unforgettable joy, but doing it again would mean even more because of the journey, the sacrifices, and the collective effort of the team and the nation. He promised that Argentina would continue fighting until the very last moment of the tournament, no matter how difficult the challenges become. Towards the end of his statement, Messi became visibly emotional once again as he looked back at the stadium and acknowledged the supporters. He thanked the fans who filled the stands and those watching from around the world, saying their love and passion give meaning to everything the team does. He described the connection between the team and the fans as something powerful and unbreakable, something that goes beyond football itself. He concluded by saying that nights like this are what make football the most beautiful sport in the world. Scoring goals is important, winning matches is important, but the emotions, the memories, and the shared experiences are what truly last forever. He said that this hat-trick will remain in his heart, not because of statistics, but because of what it represents: love for the game, love for his country, and love for the people who have supported him throughout his entire journey. And with that, Lionel Messi once again reminded the world why he is not just a footballer, but a symbol of passion, dedication, and timeless greatness, leaving fans with a promise that his story with Argentina is far from ending, and that the dream of another World Cup triumph is still alive and burning stronger than ever.